man, it can be so hard when you're wondering, should I donate this to a charity center? Should I recycle these materials? So I actually did some research last night and talked to a Goodwill employee. I have some direction and I wanted to share with you what I learned. I came across an article that shared some statistics of Goodwill locations across Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And within 1 year, these particular facilities threw away 13 million pounds of garbage. Similarly, across 30 locations, different Goodwills, these Goodwills spent over $1 million in trash bills in 1 year. I feel like we can do better. So here are some things that I do not recommend you send to donation centers, but actually recycle. First of all, look up the donation centers in your area. You should have a website and they should lay out exactly what they will and will not take. And it's really beneficial, so useful. I didn't even know this existed until last night. So do a quick Google search before you head to donations. But there were a few things that I noticed across the board different donation centers don't take. Baby items, things like cribs, strollers, car seats, bouncers, anything related to baby other than toys and clothes, I noticed they're not taking. Some other things across the board are bed pillows, bean bags, mattresses, and box springs. These, I could not find a single donation center that would accept these. Okay, when it comes to your old model TVs, they will take flat screen TVs, but donation centers I found do not accept older model TVs. So you can actually find a electronics recycling company. This is another thing I didn't know. There are different recycling companies for pretty much anything. There are specific recycling companies just for old electronics. You want to look this up, find out who recycles electronics in your area, and dispose of your old TVs that way. Oh, same thing goes with old computers. Donation centers do not accept cleaning supplies, paint, or makeup. Again, do a buy and sell group for maybe paint. Cleaning supplies, I would just trash the makeup altogether. Damaged furniture is another thing I could not find anybody accepting. So again, a buy nothing group on Facebook would be a good option. I talked to an employee and I asked them a couple specific questions. I asked if they take broken or chipped ceramics. Like I recently had a bowl that had some cracks in it and I was not sure what to do. And sure enough, they do accept these. So just make sure the employees know that it's broken so it's handled safely, but you can donate these. I also asked them specifically about clothing with stains and holes. She also said they accept these items, but if you are not confident donating things with holes or stains or tears, there are actually, again, specific textile recycling companies that you can reach out to. If you want to think outside the box a little bit as far as donations go, there are a few places that you can take things besides recycling companies, besides the donation center if things are in pretty good shape. Animal shelters will actually take old toys, blankets, and towels. So if you have anything like this that's in pretty good shape, contact your local animal shelter and see if they'll take it. Okay, when it comes to books, you can contact your local library and your local schools and see if you can possibly donate there. I love dropping books off at donation centers, although I had a book recently that the front cover was torn off of and I didn't know what to do. Once again, some of this is like use your own discretion. Like if you wouldn't buy it yourself, don't donate it. And I asked you in that video, should I donate this book? The pages were perfect, but the cover was messed up and you guys were like, no, do not donate that. So I didn't end up donating it. So use your own discretion. But if your books are in pretty good condition, contact your library, contact your schools. Oh, and then toys. You can actually see if your local church nursery needs some new toys. Again, I would only donate things that are in good condition. But if you want to kind of think outside the box, outside of just the donation center, definitely look into donating to churches. Okay, here's another really specific question that I was looking for the answer to. What about games and puzzles with missing pieces? Yes, donation centers take these. They just ask that you write on the box that it's missing pieces. Another thing you can do though with the puzzle is see if local preschools or elementary schools want to take these for art projects. I couldn't believe believe the number of DIY projects that used old puzzle pieces. So look a little farther if you don't want to donate to the donation center, but if you are going to, and no matter what, I would write a note. These are missing pieces. I personally would buy a game specifically with missing pieces if it's a game that I owned that I needed spare parts for. Example, I was in the Goodwill recently and I found a Yahtzee game. It was $1. It had a few dice, but what I really needed were those Yahtzee pads, and to buy them online, it's like $6 or $7. So I was able to get a Yahtzee pad for $1. Spare parts, that's all I needed. So just write on the box and go ahead and donate these if you feel confident. If you want to make some money and maybe sell your spare parts, that's another option as well. You can also sell books in a bundle. I love looking for used children's books on Facebook Marketplace, especially if they're sold as a big collection or a bundle. So if you are looking to make a little money, that's another idea as well. Just for fun, here are a few things that I personally would never buy at a thrift store. And I love thrifting. This sweater came from my local Goodwill. I love it. I buy most of my kids' clothes there, tons of books. There are just things that I absolutely love thrifting. Here are a few things though that I always pass on. Coloring or preschool books that have most of the pages filled. I will never purchase these. Books that have torn out pages from the beginning, middle, or end. I'm a little less concerned about the cover personally, but if it's missing actual pages, I will absolutely pass 100% of the time. Burned up candles. What do you think about this? I realize that people use the canisters and jars for different projects and storage, but I just figure, at least for me, I've got my own candles that I'm burning up, so I can use those for my own projects. I don't need to go and buy. I saw a candle recently that was like 90% burned up, and I was really surprised that it was on the shelf. So I personally wouldn't buy that, but let me know if you would yourself. Rusted cookware. I am not so much interested in this, although I do buy a lot of my ceramics, my mixing bowls. They come from the thrift store. When it's a rusted piece of cookware, I always pass on it, but let me know if you have a trick for getting rust off of cookware. Shoes with holes. I'm just not gonna buy them. I might buy a piece of clothing with a teeny tiny hole, maybe in the back or underneath a ruffle or something, but if it's shoes with a hole, I won't buy it. I want my kids' feet to be really protected. Let me know what it is you buy and don't buy at your local donation centers. Here is a link to a playlist that will give you more motivation and inspiration for minimalism, clutter-free living, and a simplified home. I will see you over there. Bye.